I first met Ali Burtz in the spring of 2020. We had just started working together, and between a rare March heat wave, the detailing he was doing on his car, and his daily deliveries of resources to local halfway houses, he was struggling to keep cool. He draped a wet towel around his neck, buzzed his hair, and wore a black t-shirt with a gold fist in the center nearly every day. He took smoke breaks in the shade, standing in front of a fan positioned at the edge of the retractable garage door that served as a window for the office's common area. But as we rolled into summer, it felt like the world was burning. News about the police shooting an unarmed man, a man who looked like Ali, seemed to be breaking daily. Images of demonstrators, bloodied and blinded from encounters with riot squads, blared across our television sets. We had all been working remotely at that point, connecting virtually for daily all-hands meetings. One morning, a very different Ali popped onto the screen.
"Ali, I like your hair picked out like that, man," said one of my colleagues.
"It's time for a revolution, brother," Ali replied. It was a physical manifestation of Ali's radicalization. There was too much work to do for him to focus on his coif, too much rage to channel into a methodical strategy for dismantling the system that leads, according to Ali, to one of two outcomes for people like him: prison or death. All of this collided for Ali in the summer of 2020, and his afro began to bloom. Ali spent nearly 40 years either in a cell or on the streets. His back often hunches as it loses the fight against years of trudging uphill with a 10-pound sledgehammer and a steel wheelbarrow to mine the rock quarry at Old Folsom Prison. He takes marijuana smoke breaks to ease his physical pains. It makes his eyelids heavy, draping over brown irises like protective shields. His voice cracks, and his eyes often water when he tells you about his weekend, years of mental anguish flowing through him from extended lockdowns spent inside a stuffy cell, torturing himself over mistakes he made as a kid that would rob him of his young adult years. Ali was born in Menlo Park, California, and moved to the predominantly white suburbs of nearby Mountain View as a teenager. He was the only black person at his high school and was constantly abused by racist classmates. He began to cope by fighting back and indulging in drugs. Between the violence and the drug use, he built a substantial conviction history. After decades of cycling in and out of jail, Ali was arrested with a gun in his possession, his third strike offense. California started counting felony convictions as strikes in the late 1990s, with each new offense allowing judges and prosecutors to inflate the number of years someone had to serve in prison, doubling after the second strike and extending to 25 to life after the strikeout. Ali languished in state prison until 2000, when a state voter initiative introduced a probationary sentence in lieu of incarceration for people serving life sentences under the three strikes law. In the new law's understanding of what is just and what is just excessive, Ali deserved 13 years in prison for the crime he'd been sent there for 20 years ago, so he was released on probation. As a condition of that probation, Ali had to wear a GPS ankle monitor. He had to pay approximately $840 a month for the monitor, an expense that forced him to live in his car. At sunset, you could find him watching the horizon from a bench in Oakland, tethered to a wall with a spare outlet so the device could recharge. He knew going back to his old neighborhood where he might be able to crash on someone's couch would mean going back to his old life, so he made the extremely difficult and therefore extremely rare decision to remain unhoused until he could afford a place of his own.